Yeah,
But this was
yeah.
fun. Good job.
Don't pay attention to that, it's
Okay.
because of Alzheimer's.
Okay, we're on.
Parliamentary
We're on.
procedure
The tape
here.
is on.
Form of grass.
Close enough to the time. I'll officially call this meeting of the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to order for Tuesday, September 29th. Please join us for the pledge.
I'll take this off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You'll join me for a brief prayer. Lord, thank you for this beautiful day, as we thank you for each and every day that we receive, and for the many blessings that you bestow upon us. Please be with us at this time as we gather for the purposes of conducting public business. Give us the knowledge and wisdom to do so in the best interest of you. In your holy name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Zoller?
Here.
Commissioner Hershey?
Here.
Like a hat. Well, the signing of the journal, and I'll accept a motion to approve the DVD recording from our previous board session, which was September 24th, and the index of that meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the meetings as are.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Thank you. All right. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda? Anything that's not on the printed agenda we need to add to make sure we bring up?
We have some requests from CCAO for some support resolutions.
And that'd be under new.
Yes.
All pertaining to issues, ballot issues, right?
Yep.
Anything else need to add? Okay, and then we'll begin with old business, and on old business, we have the museum. I think Mike should start, he's got the historical weight on. So,
How was Elvis historical?
I think it's more colonial,
I agree with that. He looks like George Washington.
ready for Halloween.
Okay, just so we need some more comments. I have not heard from Palmer. Any update?
Yes.
Okay, good. You have an update.
Okay.
And we asked John to come in. He's taken these numbers that Tanya gave him from Palmer, went down to the museum, so I asked John to be here today to go over some of Palmer's
Okay.
bases and alternates that he went over, so John has some suggestions
Okay,
if you want to.
all right. So we've got it broken down, they've got the base, which is the porch area, then alternate, I'm assuming that ALT is alternate 1, rear steps, 2 downspouts, 3 basement landing areas, and 4 interior walls. Okay, so you want to, John, do you want to walk us through this, or?
Yeah, I share some pictures here that I took just to show you what I'm thinking. I'm going to start with the alternatives
Okay.
on the back side. If you look at, well, let's start right at the front page. If you look at the roof outline, I'm going to deal with the backyard issues first. Yeah, where it points out alternate 1, and then 2, 3, and 4 are also part of that. The big thing is, if you're looking at Palmer's setup where it says alternate 1, it's downspouts. That whole area back there has water pouring onto the building. The Palmer's alternate 1 pictures show the downspouts being buried underneath the concrete there, which that concrete has to all come out. But if you look at my picture number 1, see where that downspout's coming from, and they're gonna run it back underneath the sidewalk, and then it's gonna drop out right into the driveway anyhow. I'm proposing we just bring it right straight down and we drop it out on the sidewalk there, or on the driveway, eliminating a lot of that stuff. Again, what I'm talking about today is a lot of stuff that we can do in our own maintenance department. We only have a couple people, but we're capable of doing that. The sidewalk that you see going back towards the door, maybe my picture is better, number 2 and 3. Picture 2, there's actually a sidewalk along that building there, and it's tilted in. It's going right into the building. And if you move back to picture 4, that's shot from the driveway, and that whole area is high. So it's holding all the water back on the building. Going to Palmer's alternate 2 picture, that's the little alcove in the back there. That just holds water. That window has to be taken out all the way down to the foundation and rebuilt, and because this holds water in there. So I'm proposing that my crew go in this alcove here, do some of the gutter work, actually take gutter off and drain it a different way. The backyard area from the grapevines over to the building be tore out and re-landscaped, because it's literally 6 to 8 inches higher than our drainage. So that needs to be re-landscaped, and that gutter work needs to be taken out on that re-landscaping. It'll go down the driveway as such. And that's stuff that we can do for the maintenance, through the maintenance department. The back here though, this gutter work, the one part of the gutter will remain white aluminum. The rest of it, we'll have to get some copper to compensate, to match what's already there. Very little, just a couple copper objects there. So that backyard can be taken care of fairly reasonable with that, and I think we should take this on as county maintenance. Going to the front, or to the front of the building, the porch area, that is wet. Our whole makeup of that is water. Stacy and I went out yesterday, and I showed her some issues there, and she saw the drainage work that's, we've got going on. It's all temporary. But where they're saying the gutters are on the roof line, that area there has both major roofs coming down into that little courtyard area. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even see that. Okay. Go back to the gutters then. I didn't believe you had
Which one is it, this one or?
the alternate. Okay. Okay.
That one?
More. These are the areas I was referring to as replacing with copper. That's white aluminum. This gutter here would actually be replaced and dropped out on the new landscaping. This is a piece of white PVC drainage pipe. We would eliminate it coming over here, but then we would drop it in this other white one. And that would be copper. That would be part of the old building, and it would that would have to be copper. This area here, this gutter drains, if you look at the aerial, this drains the front part of the museum, at least this half of the roof. This downspout here drains the next part of the museum on this side. So I've got over half of the roof draining down into this, next picture, into this courtyard. Oop. Oop. There we go. Down here, that's what's coming off of the roof. And that's all sitting in this courtyard. And as you can see, this is part of what's causing all this stuff. What's not in Palmer's proposal here is to spend some time and serious thought on how to get rid of that water, okay? We can't change the gutters or build in gutters, but we gotta get them from coming down. This here is the one that carries, this one piece here carries over half of the roof water. And it drops right down in this courtyard right here. So, this carries just a couple of the little pieces, but it's so wet there, just, you know, I think we need to spend a little time worrying about the drainage.
Yeah, John, I know when I had the contractor out there, that if you notice over on the driveway, there are pipes that come out, so there was underwater drainage in there. What they were proposing is run those downspouts and put new pipe,
Okay, I didn't.
put new pipe in there, so that would then get the water way out of the way. Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Wherever you got water, if you don't get rid of the water, you can fix the porch, but you're gonna have
Okay,
problems.
I
again.
didn't remember that part, so.
Yeah.
But that's very serious problem there. Especially what we're gonna be doing here. On the side porch stuff, my men can't do much of that. That's major work. Again, I have 3 maintenance guys, 2 of which are one's mowing grass 5 days a week, and the other 2 are taking care of 13 buildings and hundreds of employees. So we'll do some of it, but getting into this year gets tore off, filled in, you know, blocked back up, new brick steps, a lot of stuff. That's what's proposed for this area. So it's more work than we can actually do. My concern was the drainage, make sure that we put a lot of thought into that drainage and get that away from the building.
Well, John, it's a chicken or an egg thing here. Do you think you need to do the drainage before they fix the porch or vice versa?
Same time,
Same time,
absolutely,
yeah,
same time.
absolutely.
When they're digging, they're gonna have to take this out, they're gonna have to dig this out.
Okay.
They're gonna dig down, put a footer and a foundation in, to come up, these windows come out. That'll be block and brick, veneered. The steps will be brick, you know, veneered. So when they're digging in there, that's what they need to do.
So we can take it to those drainage pipes that Commissioner Zoll referred to?
Yes,
Okay, and that, where does that end up taking the water, those drainage pipes?
Out in the driveway,
right,
Out into the driveway?
right,
which is away from the building. That would be the,
yeah. The drive probably needs, it's rolled, you know, it's thin blacktop to begin with. And the one area back along the back part that I plan on working on, we're gonna cut that out, put some caulking in there, to help it a little bit more.
Okay.
So, but that's the exterior. You know, the interior, there's some steps going to the basement. There's electrical boxes that I don't even want to talk about because they're just so jammed full of Yankee ingenuity. It's scary. So, and that's something that probably needs to be considered on a more serious basis.
How many amp service do we have in that museum?
You know, I don't know. There's 2 services there, and I'm not even sure.
Probably 100 to 200 or something.
Probably, yeah. I doubt if there's
Not
200 in there.
You think
Probably,
two
I'll find
more?
out, and let you know. But, yeah, it's been rewired and wired and added to, and Christmas lights and this and that and the next thing.
Was a 200 amp service enough, or there need to be a 400 amp service? You think?
You know, I'm just gonna have to do a little survey on it. I think 200 would probably be enough. That back building though, the meeting room area might need, that would probably have a separate, you know, 150, 200.
John, I appreciate your offer to do a lot of these things, but also, and also very cognizant with just a small crew is what you have and trying to maintain all the buildings within the county. I personally think this is out of the scope of what our own maintenance department can handle. This is a big job. This is a big job. I guess the question that I have with my fellow commissioners is I've added up the 2 proposals. If we looked at it on the light side, it's $77,300. If we looked at it on the heavy side, it's $92,200 to do the project. Both of them fall beyond with the the $50,000 threshold to let it out for bid. Is there a way, John, that we could break this down to keep it under the 50,000 and do it in 2 increments? Or do
Probably
we,
not.
I don't understand the whole bidding process. Is this something we want to let it out for bid?
What I was proposing that our guys do in this area was only a couple $1,000s. So the majority of the work are the porches in that area and rebuilding them. And that's just something you need to do all at one time. You can't.
Yeah, well, what my proposal would be, and I certainly appreciate your offer to do something, and I think some of it, you coordinate that with whoever the contractor is. Coordinate that with them so that when they do their work, you could go in and do your
Right.
minor modifications to it, which will help us. Because anybody that takes this job, in my mind, is almost going to be a time and materials kind of thing, because you don't know what you're getting into until you start.
Yeah, the
Getting
porches,
into
the
an old
columns on the
building.
porches, the bases are fairly rotten, and the ones that don't look rotten, if you stick a knife in them, they're rotten. This is the area, the courtyard area of concern. This is the area I was referring to. This is the Great Barber, this all needs to be landscaped out, so. The sidewalk that goes along here, they had in their proposal to take the steps out. Quite honestly, those are original steps with this part of the building is original. This part was added on to in the 70s. So steps are fine. They don't need to come out. I mean, quite honestly, got a couple cracks in them, but you know, they're the original. They're curvy concrete, and that's fine. But the sidewalk directly behind them, right here where the gutter goes across there, all that sidewalk there tilts right into the building. So that definitely got to go. And in order to make that go, this dirt in this area has to be cut out about a foot. And we have it. It drops off here considerably to the driveway. And then you come down the driveway, and what Fred was talking about was the pipes coming out into this driveway from these gutters that are draining all this roof line down into this courtyard.
I think through the years, the underground pipes just got corroded and
Yeah.
and so
covered up.
forth, so then they turn around and just run downspouts, just let it run in the water, but if you're in there, they can root those pipes out, put new pipes in, and
Yeah.
it would work perfect, and that way you get the water away from the premises there.
So even with the maintenance department doing some things to help save some money, and like I said, you know, we can do it more cheaper ourselves, there's a lot of it that we're still gonna have to put some kind of bid specs out because of the dollar figure, right?
Majority of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So
can do the little things, and I'd be glad to, you know, stick my nose in where it doesn't belong, you know, and keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Make sure we're not shortchanging because somebody put a bid in and they don't wanna do it right, you know.
Right. Well, when he talks about, you know, time and material, but when we put a bid out, can we bid that way? When you,
We'll spec it as close as what the engineer has designed, but I'm sure change orders may happen because of us not knowing.
Yeah, I think you need to bid like you bid everything else, and as Fred said, you might get into something that you didn't foresee, but that's why they put change orders together, and that's why after we talk to them to see whether or not it's, whether or not we should approve the change order.
Well, I mean, can't we just go to the contractor and let it out for any contractor, local contractor that wants to approach us? I'm certainly receptive to it. I've reached out to what I thought was all the major contractors in town, and only one has come back and even remotely had an interest to even do it.
yeah.
And maybe he'll be the only one that
He may be the
bids.
only one that puts a bid in
Yeah,
then.
so I mean, well, instead of putting a bid in, can we not go to them and say, okay, here, well, you can do this project, but not, time and material not to exceed $50,000. That way we keep under the trust. Can't?
No, not if we've got the projections that's saying it's gonna, projected to be over 50. No. Like I said, that might be the only person that bids, and, you know, if somebody else does, they do. I mean, I guess, are we feasibly ready in line to be able to put this out soon?
I know he got some more detailed stuff in another email, so hopefully within a week or two, at least by next week, we could set time and date and figure out the advertising, and I'll get with Tanya to see how close he is, because there was a lot of detail in the other email that she had, so I don't know if he's ready for that.
And we all realize that of this project, 50,000 of it roughly is coming from private
Well, that's what I was
donations.
gonna say, we've got money from,
Yeah,
you
so
know,
it's
from the
not all
foundation
public
and-
money by any means here.
And his, you know, and the charitable.
So how does that
foundation.
work? If it's 50,000 of private donations, and if we keep it under 50 of ours, does it still gotta be let out for bid?
It's one project, yes. It goes-
Even though it's not all public money?
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
The money's-
their money will come in to us.
Then
so
it
that-
becomes our money then.
Because the contractor's gonna contract with us, not with,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, it's not that I'm receptive to have a multitude of contractors bid this thing, but I know how difficult it's been to even get anybody to even,
Look at
I mean,
it.
they look at it once and then I never hear back from them.
Yeah.
So Palmer's gonna put together the specs of the project.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have that to bid, or we'll have that to advertise and looking for bids.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just move forward with it.
And what we
Yeah.
would pull out of that is a little bit of the work what the maintenance department could do.
Yep.
That'd be,
Yeah.
Yep.
I appreciate that, John. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's very, very helpful, John, thank you.
All right.
Nothing's easy whenever it comes to the government.
It does, yeah, no. Most definitely it's not.
Do you need any action to move forward with this thing, or we're just gonna have a discussion and just? get it
No, we already have money in place for it, so.
Yeah, so now she'll have to have the resolution prepared to set date, time, and place for the bid. And it will come in. All right, then to new business, let's take care of the CCAO resolutions. Are you good? Yeah.
Okay, since we got a email from CCAO, they have 3 issues on the ballot. Issue 1, if I'm understanding this right, talks about changing district boundaries
Yes.
that are more compact.
that
Ohio
one.
House and Senate districts, yes.
Okay. Issue 2, they're talking about Ohio Constitution is not for sale and prohibits special interests from attending or amending the Constitution to create monopolies. That's short, brief on 2, and 3 is the marijuana legislation. CCAO is in support of 1 and 2 and would ask your support, and is against issue 3, and again is asking your support. I don't know if you guys had time to read these this morning when I sent them to you, or if you maybe already know the details of the issues.
And I've heard Representative Reineke speak on the issues and things we probably all have, and state senator and others as well. And I personally agree with what's best interest for the county is, what they both support is, yes, it makes it a nonpartisan issue on issue, these are all state issues, state issue 1 of how the redistricting would occur. It still will include the Secretary of State, the auditor, and the other office holder. Maybe it's the Attorney General, I don't know, 3 of the state officer holders, and then 2 from majority and 2 from the minority groups. So I just think it's better than it to be totally in the hands of the legislature. They'd rather not have it. That's what Bill has said. Let this group be the group that draws those new lines and, you know, do all the things to make it correct when it comes up for change every 10 years when it has to change. Issue 2 prevents the monopolies, the oligopolies, any of those things from being in existence from anybody future trying to change the Constitution is the way I read it. And then 3, of course, is the marijuana issue, which really is an issue that would allow for a monopoly to occur as it's presented.
2 and 3 kind of go hand in
Yeah, they
hand.
kind of go hand in hand. The one would prevent future issues such as issue 3 to come forward as they are in terms of with it asking.
There just
basically
is
for
some, there
monopoly.
is just some confusion with the public, or there would be from trying to review these things, you know, to vote yes on an issue that talks about monopolies, and then to vote no on number 3, which is the marijuana issue. I agree with where we're going, but, you know, it's almost easier from a public standpoint that if you're in favor of something, you vote yes. If you're opposed to it, you vote no.
Yeah.
Now we have 2 yeses and a no.
Yeah,
It just makes it difficult to disseminate that information and understand what it is you're voting for. So, but having said that, I will move that, that we resolve, put resolutions in place supporting issues 1 and 2 and not supporting issue 3.
I would second that motion.
We have a motion and a second on state issues, to support state issue 1 and issue 2, and to oppose issue 3. Any further comments, questions? Call the roll?
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes. So that passes, thank you.
I just have to say this for a record. It's very difficult for me to look at you two and be serious about this as your, but this is a very serious matter.
Now you know how we feel.
Already done. Okay, we can continue with the new business.
I will go to the end of the agenda. Asked Mr. Majors to come up. He is looking to hire an additional paramedic, and Gary Amlin is here with us today, so figured it'd be a good time to bring him on. Let Ken explain.
Okay. We're trying to hire a few people to replace some people that we've lost, and also to expand what we do, because 12 hours a day, 24 hours, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It takes more than one or two guys to do that. Gary's been a paramedic. I've worked with him since we started in Tiffin. Was that 18 years ago now? So Gary's been a paramedic almost 20 years, and we just need to add a few more folks to the ranks to make it easier for scheduling. And also, Gary has decided it's time for him to start helping us out at the county level. And really, it's kind of a good thing. This is exactly the kind of person we're looking for, somebody with a lot of experience as a paramedic, and to have that leadership role that we bring when we bring the ECHO unit to the scene. And
This enhances the ECHO unit, right?
absolutely,
Okay.
the more experience we can add to that, to get on that truck, to get on the scene, the better off we are from a leadership perspective, as well as taking care of the patient and moving them forward to definitive care as quick as we can. And really, it's getting harder to find the seasoned guys that don't already have a side job or do their own thing out there in the big world. So it's harder for us to be attractive to them, being a young organization as we are. But I think a lot of the guys that live here in the community, we're a community-based EMS system. They want to give back to their community, and that's what this is about. And I really appreciate Gary taking the time out and coming and looking into what we're doing. And it's something to get excited about, because we got a long road ahead of us. But at the same time, the more experience we can add to it, the more value we bring. So, and that's really what it is. This is Gary.
Welcome, Gary.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good. That's great.
Say anything?
If you want to.
Two thumbs
I
up.
talk enough for both.
As Ken said, my name's Gary Amlin. I'm from Tiffin, born and raised here. Been on the fire department almost 18 years, and Ken was actually one of my mentors as becoming a medic.
We won't use that against you.
Thanks. Got 2 kids. They both go to Mohawk High School. Jake is 15 and a half. Julia's 13 and a half, and we'll just leave it at that.
Teenagers.
Member of St. Mary's Church. I'm a scoutmaster for St. Joe's Troop 444. I know we worked with Mr. Zoller several times. Like I said, I've been on, and I used to be on Sycamore's fire department with kids and family. It wasn't working too well. Now that the kids are older, I'm looking to get back into serving a little bit more and doing a little bit other stuff. Like he said, a lot of us do have side jobs. I do flooring on the side, and it's starting to get to me a little bit. So this is easier work, I guess. So, and like I said, yeah, at times.
Yeah.
Easier on the body and everything, but also like he said, it's time to start giving back again. Get back into it. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate what you do.
thank you.
Ken, you can bring people like that up here every week. No problem whatsoever.
Do you want us to handle that resolution separate? We can do that.
I can do that. Pull that one out.
they sign, that's your hire.
I have a resolution hiring Gary Amlin as an interim paramedic for the Seneca County EMS Paramedic Response Unit, the ECHO Unit, effective September 29th, 2015.
Got a motion?
So moved.
I make a resounding affirmative of that.
We have a motion and a second for the hiring of Gary, and we'll call roll.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes, approved. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Painless.
Thanks. All right, we'll go back to the top of the new business list, the bill vouchers.
Okay, I have bill voucher batch number 6565. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations for the CHIP FY14 fund. And they're putting $100,000 into their home repair line. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriation for the juvenile court community services fund, putting $1,000 into contract services. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriation for the VOCA grant fund, putting $28,500 into salaries, $1,000 into supplies, $1,700 into equipment, $1,700 into contract services, $3,950 into other expense, $425 into Medicare, $500 into workers' comp, $7,000 into hospitalization, $4,000 into PRS, subtotal of $48,775. She also has in her other account for VOCA travel $550, contract services $1,750, subtotal $2,300 for a total supplemented $51,075, and this is all due to this her ending her grant cycle and getting into a new grant cycle. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations for the general fund, putting $25,000 into the coroner's contract service line. He's used, unfortunately, all of the money he's had in place for autopsies, and he has, Diane said he has June, July, August, September that he hasn't paid yet, and then he's got hopefully none the rest of the year, but we had originally put $32,000, I think, was in the budget for this, and
So this is over budget.
yes, over budget. Nothing we can do about how many autopsies that need to be done, so this is unexpected, and usually we end up having enough, but this year apparently is a bad year, so he's requesting that. And I have a resolution establishing the Seneca County's premium contribution and health insurances rate for calendar year 2016. We talked about those last week. I got them in resolution form. The only thing I've added here, which I can take back out because we haven't made a decision on it, I know we were still thinking about it, so I can pull this out, is the HSA contributions. I don't know if you wanted to discuss that again. I did get a few numbers from Julie. Currently, and this is going to be for all funds, currently all funds, including general fund, put $68,000 in for the HSA contributions, the $250 for single, $500 for family. Of that, general fund is about $34,000. She's given me individual departments and what their totals are, but so basically the general fund does about half. So if we increased it, I'm assuming we just double that amount. If you were gonna go up to the 500 or 1,000, or if you guys wanted to talk about maybe an alternate, or if you wanted to leave it the same.
What have the, non-general fund departments that are they able to do it because they follow our health insurance, program?
The only one that I have not heard back from, and she was checking on her grants, is the health department.
Okay.
Everybody else.
Because even if financially we decide we could do it, we've got to know that they can, because
Yep.
they are going to be strapped by whatever we put in place.
Right.
I think we need to know what they're going to do, whether we had that part in there or not, and I'm not sure we're ready to know that that's what we want it to be.
In my mind, what I want to do is I want to compare last year's to this year's on everything.
Okay.
The bottom line, the bottom line. What was the general fund budget last year for health insurance? That was HSA, everything. And what is it this year? So we can compare the difference then.
Okay.
And
Not
then
the
if we-
total health insurance?
Yeah. The difference, I'm only interested in the difference.
Okay.
If we spent $2 million last year, we're gonna spend $2,100,000 this year, then we
Okay.
know we gotta added 100,000. Well, then if we can't afford that, then we gotta look at, okay, how can we get that down? And that may be through the HSA and I don't wanna make any statement until I know what the sum total is.
All right, I'll remove that section of this resolution holding that health savings. I don't need that amount today, but they do want to, they're getting ready for open enrollments. I think it was the 19th and then 20th, so they do need the rates. So the resolution establishing the rates will still continue today, which you guys kind of agreed to last week.
Right. So if we would have that other information, like you're asking for by next week, we at least
I can do
discuss
that.
that. Because if they're gonna wanna know on the HSA, whether it's staying the same or if there's any changes to it with open enrollment too.
Yep.
Because people can still do the buy-up plan or they can do the HSA plan.
Yep. I'll call Beth and talk to her again and see if she's found anything. Okay, and that's the last resolution I have.
Do I have a motion to approve resolutions as stated?
Yeah, I just have one question, just for my clarification, for the one supplement appropriations to the CHIP, to put $100,000 for home repairs. Okay, we get the CHIP grant, comes to the county, and as funds start being distributed, then we have to go ahead and appropriate to put that back out. Is that kind of the summation of it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's not out of our fund, it's the funds
It's
that
an
we-
in-out tank.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I'll make the motion here on the amount that we're paying for the health insurance premiums, not including the HSA contribution.
And then all, we're gonna do it on all resolutions, so we have all of them.
Yeah, I'll second all the
Okay.
resolutions that we've just discussed.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, and that is with the health insurance excluding the HSA contribution for now, to be acted on later, at a later time. Any further comments or questions? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes, all approved, thank you. We can do citizens' comments at the time. We're scheduled for an executive session at 10:30, and that is DJFS coming up for that.
Nope, they rescheduled theirs
Oh, okay.
for October. I just need a few minutes.
Oh, okay, okay, so it's for personnel?
Compensation.
Personnel compensation. All right, we'll leave the citizens' comments first, because we don't anticipate any action after an executive session. Okay, citizens' comments at this time. Tom?
Yes, I have a comment about Gary. When the cemetery was being worked on, rebuilt out there, I never went out there that Gary wasn't there. And there was times he was out there with his tractor. One Sunday, I stopped out, my wife stopped out there. Gary and his family was out there working on the cemetery. Just wanted to make that comment. He spent, I have no idea how many hours that man spent out there at that cemetery, getting it where it's at today. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Gary.
And
Once we go off record, then I'd like to make a comment, but it can be off record.
Any further citizens' comments at this time? All right, then we will need a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of personal compensation.
I make a motion for that.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes, it will be executive session. It's 10:37.
And there won't be any action after.
And yeah, we have no point for action afterwards, so we'll come back out to go into a regular session and adjourn, but we don't want to hold you up to be waiting